Young man.
What about the 12 string?
The 12 string? Oh, I never talked about the 12 string. Gibson over the years has made a few different 12 string models. This year, we decided to do something a little different and take an iconic guitar, like the Hummingbird, and make it into a 12 string. So have you ever played a 12 string? Yeah? It just takes that roundness that is a Hummingbird and just gives it that chiminess that you get out of a 12 string. Comes with a pickup system. I didn't just to touch briefly on it. We use LR Baggs pickup systems in almost all of our guitars, with one exception. We put a Fishman in, but they just work really well. They translate the guitar so well. The thing that we like about the Baggs systems is that you put the Baggs system in this guitar and plug it in, it still sounds like this guitar. If you take that same pickup and put it in that 45, it's still going to sound like that 45. It's not just an amplified sound, it actually translates the guitar, in our opinion, better than any other pickup manufacturer. And I mean, there's some really, really cool, really high-end pickups out there, but we don't want to have to pass on those kind of prices to everybody. So we found the best one that works for us, for our guitars, that just works really well, and that's the LR Baggs product. You had a question?
I have a couple. Are you saying that all the acoustic necks are now being plecked?
Yes. We've actually started doing it in 2014, but we didn't tell anybody for a couple of reasons. Number one, it took us a while to get electric guitars out into the world. And what we didn't want is someone coming in to Bailey Brothers and going, well, we hear Gibson's plucking their guitars now. Can you get us a new one? We don't want that one you have. So we wanted to let inventories work through the system, so when we announced it, all the guitars in the stores, all the guitars in the warehouses would indeed be plucked. And so we actually waited almost a year and a half before we talked about it. But yes, every Gibson acoustic guitar is plucked.
And are all the necks now that ebony, light, whatever?
Rich light? No. We still use rosewood on probably 95% of our guitars. We use rich light on a few modern guitars because those guitars don't have historic parameters anyway. And even on some of the fancier guitars, because it's such a better palette visually, it's black. You put an abalone inlay on a rosewood fingerboard, and if that rosewood is light and has figures, sometimes the inlay goes away, it doesn't jump. So we use that as a palette for fancy inlays in a lot of our high-end stuff, and it just works really well. Gibson does not make banjos right now. We used to, and we've built all of our bluegrass instruments at a place called the Opry Mills Mall in Nashville, and then the flood came and wiped out the mall, and instead of rebuilding that, they decided just to relocate to one of the other factories. So now they build the mandolins over where they build the electric custom shop guitars, but we have not got back into building banjos yet. There's a lot of people out there ask that question. I've been traveling throughout the South for this past week, and you're far from the first that wishes they could see Gibson banjos again. So we hope they'll be back someday soon as well. Rob?
Don, I think the miniature thing sounds really cool. I know you brought some pretty special guitars with us. Can you maybe show some of those?
Absolutely.
Whet people's appetites and get the creative juices flowing about some of the cool things you can do.
Well, one of the things, of course, is colors. We have a lot of colors available to us. This is a limited edition guitar we made for this year. It's the Hummingbird in what we call Big Sky Blue. And we're only making 125 of these. That's for the world. And when either the end of our model year ends, or we get to 125, whichever happens first, that's it. So it's kind of cool. And we're very, very strict about sticking to our numbers. When someone buys a guitar as an investment, hopefully they'll play it, but because they were told there's only going to be 125 of them, we don't want to compromise on that. Quick story, we learned the hard way. We made a guitar called the Elvis Presley signature model, and we were contracted by Graceland to build that guitar. It was a big J200 replica of the guitar we made for him many years ago. It had his name on the fingerboard, this big fancy pickguard, and we made 250 of them. And it took about 3 years. We sold 250 out. Oh, it's too bad, it's a great guitar. Had lots of calls. People wanted to. Sorry, we can't build it. And then Graceland calls up and talks to my boss, our director of sales and marketing, and says, "We want to do another contract. People are asking for those guitars every day." So Robbie, of course, in his financial wisdom, said, "Yeah, we can make some money. Let's do it." So we started building them again. and we had built and shipped 9, and my phone rings. And I pick it up, and I'm this far away from my ear, and I can hear the guy screaming. You ruined my investment. You promised me there was only going to be 250 of these made. Now I see you're selling them again. I'm going to sue you, sue Gibson. I said, whoa, this phone call needs to be at a higher pay grade than my desk right now. So I passed it up, and he was 100% right. And we had shipped 9 of them. 8 of them were to Hong Kong, Japan, and Singapore. We had to get them back, cut off the necks, and provide his attorney with the pegheads to prove the serial numbers were accounted for. There was one lady in the Midwest that the whole time we were making the first run had wanted one. She was in her 60s, huge Elvis fan, and could never afford one. And then finally, when she heard we were making them again, she said she had to find a way. So she scrounged and got one. And I was tasked to call her and get her guitar back. There was many phone calls, lots of tears, mostly from me. And finally I just said, what can we do? I need to get that guitar back. She goes, I understand, but I said, what can we do? And so we talked, and finally we made her God's own guitar with her own name on the fingerboard and everything she wanted, and she was happy. She was disappointed, but she was happy that we did that for her. And so we learned the hard way that when you say you're going to build 50 of something, you stick to it, because that's an agreement with your customers that we don't want to go back on. So this is a run of 100. The Doves in Flight is a guitar we've made over the years in various configurations. We did a run of 50 of these this year with a nice, beautiful figured quilt maple back. If you haven't had a chance to come up and look at this guitar, all the birds are hand engraved. Every one is a little bit different. So you still have 40 of these side by side, and the feathers and eye detail will all change from guitar to guitar, from bird to bird. Even the tuner knobs are hand tooled and then gold plated. And so it's a spectacular instrument. The builders have so much fun doing that.
Don, don't you see the back inside there already?
That is a quilted maple. It's a hand rubbed stain. Then we have this beautiful guitar. This is the last one of these available, and we brought her on the trip.
Don, you are treading on dangerous ground. Hold that one limit.
It's a J45 vine with a mystic figured rosewood and just a beautiful abalone and mother of pearl vine combination. Again, the hand tooled tuner knobs, gold-plated tuner knobs, and just some really nice detailing. And this is a run again. We will never do any more guitars exactly like this. So there's a lot of stuff that's possible through the Made to Measure. We do a lot of fun limited runs that are just
Bailey Brothers Music Company, where you are the star.
You're